gonna make you dance. Wake up, dancing, wake up, wake up, dancing. Wake up, Harv is gonna make you dance.
That's me on www.wakeupdancing.com. Believe it or not, it is halftime at Super Bowl Sunday. New England is up 7-3. Of course, by the time you get to www.wakeupdancing.com, the game is long over. But I have decided that we've got to put together an all-new edition of Wake Up Dancing, which features a program of Club Kids on ML's radio. What we've done here and there, we've given you bits and pieces of Tony Horton, who was a celebrity hotline conversationalist back in November, I want to say. And here it is, February the 3rd, and I don't believe that we've been able to play every single piece of that interview. Time restricts us at 14:50 a.m., and of course, MySpace.com restricts us. So what we're doing now on WakeUpDancing.com is giving you most of the interview. The only part of the interview with Tony Horton that we're not going to hear is going to be the parts where Nelson Fast Forward Cruz, way in the beginning, was in the middle of a comic book convention, and it was so loud that we decided that we were going to cut Nelson's part short in order to focus on Tony Horton. Tony Horton, of course, the creator of the P90X fitness system that you're going to hear all about. So what we'll do now is we will pick up the conversation as Nelson's about to do some giveaways, and then we'll say goodbye to Nelson, and then for the rest of this particular program, it is Tony Horton, celebrity fitness expert. Tony Horton, the activist of all of us people that want to look better than what we've looked like, at least in the meanwhile. But we'll go to the celebrity hotline. It'll be Nelson Cruz. It'll be Tony Horton, and it'll be a really cool interview. And then towards the end of Wake Up Dancing, during the time that we have here at www.wakeupdancing.com, we will read back for you some of the big winners who have logged on to WCEV1450.com, MySpace.com/Harv Roman or /Club Kids on ML's radio, or even those who went to New York. And they were there at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. They were at the New Year's thing. They were at the Christmas Parade. And we'll be able to give recognition to everybody who was a big winner at that point through the reports of our Nelson Fast Forward Cruz, who was on the scene and on the spot. And he was at a comic book convention, and it didn't sound really great because it was so much madness. But let's go back in time, shall we? Harv Roman in Chicago, Nelson Fast Forward Cruz in New York. Nelson's at a convention. I'm in studio, and Tony Horton's on the West Coast. Now I want you to get involved and talk about what you're doing on Thanksgiving, because honestly, that convention, I don't know if the sirens came from the West Coast or the East Coast, but there's a whole lot of background noise. Maybe you could cover with Tony what you're going to do on Thanksgiving, and then we can, he and I can pick it up one-on-one without the, with all the insanity that is a comic book convention.
Yeah, I think that would be a good what we're going to do is we're going to be giving away at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. We're going to be giving away the P90X complete training system.
Oh, I love you guys.
It's going to be beautiful. And the way we're going to do it is I'm going to get into the crowd, and I'm going to hype up the crowd, and then I'm going to have the crowd. I'm going to ask them a question about you, Tony. Something that you've done or something relating to you, and I'm going to give them 3 minutes to look it up on their, through Google on their phones, and the first person that gives me the correct answer gets the package.
Oh, nice. I love that idea.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. So the thing is to come up with the tricky question. Come up with a tricky question
that the folks would find on the phone if they went on the website, if they went to like P90X or Beachbody.com.
Exactly. And Harv is going to be covering all those websites and all your information.
Well, here's a good
you're in
question.
good hands.
Maybe you could have them, one of them would be name 4 of Tony's fitness programs.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, like Power 90, P90X, Power 90 Master Series, and Great Body Guaranteed. Any 4, and they can come up with that, and that's not too hard to find.
No, and we talked about 2 of them just a minute ago when we talked about Tony and the folks and Tony and the kids. So if you go to beachbody.com, you're going to learn a whole lot, and then you can be, if you're in New York, if you happen to be at, do they still call it the Macy's parade?
Yeah, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
So if you're at that event and you run into Nelson, then you're going to pick yourself up the P90X Extreme Home Fitness Nutrition and Weight Loss Program and this big old machine. Now, I've read about the machine, haven't seen the machine. There are lots of these machines on the market, Tone. So, what sets this one apart from the others?
Well, here's the funny thing. We developed Power 90, and we were a small company 8 years ago. I mean, we were almost not even a half. And in the course of 8 short years, we had a CEO and a president, and a couple of secretaries, me and another trainer by the name of Debbie Sievers. And we were renting space in this little place, in Santa Monica. And back in those days, the vast majority of companies that were developing fitness programs were coming up with these silly little machines, that you do whatever, 5 minutes a day, maybe 10 minutes a day or something. There's all kinds of different things that are on the market. There's this one thing, some ab machine where you sit in a chair and you do 3 minutes 3 times a day. I don't know what the heck it is,
You go from left to right and from right to left. It's like doing the twist.
Anybody with a brain can look at that. I mean, some people are duped. You see celebrities on a show. They pay celebrities a lot of money to go on their show and pitch their thing and read a teleprompter and say how great it is, and they go away and they've never used the darn thing, and they end up using fitness models. They put fitness models on this machine, and Americans are smart people, and a vast majority of them see something like that and they say, okay, that's junk, or they get duped and they buy it and it ends up at a garage sale 3 months later. So what we did was the CEO of our company, Carl Deichel, came to me and he said, can you develop a program that's pretty hardcore, that has lots of modifications for people at different levels that they can do at home in front of their television set? Because, I trained Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, Annie Lennox, Rob Lowe, a lot of celebrity types. And back in those days, I would say, give me 3 months and I can turn you out. I can make you fit, I can get you ready for a tour, I can get you ready for a movie, you name it. And Carl said, can you create that for the average American at home? So I did about 5.5 months of research. I mean, I've been in this business 25 years. So I first developed Power 90. And this thing, we put it on the air, and people saw it and said, you know what? That looks hard. But the difference between Power 90 is that it looked real. And we've sold millions and millions and millions of copies. And it has turned around, that many lives in this country. And then at one point, you get to P90X. After Power 90, people were doing Power 90 once, twice, 3 times. They're creating their own modifications. Like I have this one ab routine called Ab Ripper 200. They were making their own Ab Ripper 300. So we get a lot of feedback on our website. We have a huge community at beachbody.com, because there's people all around this country that don't get support at home. They don't get support at work. There are family members that say, oh, why are you wasting your time? This stuff never works. But what ends up happening is it does work. They do get fit. And then members of their family say, wait a minute, what'd you do again? And these folks that do Power 90 2 and 3 times were saying to us, we need something new. We need something, more extreme. So we saw that demographic. And we also saw that there are hundreds of thousands of people in this country going to local gyms and wasting their time. They're paying trainers anywhere from $50 to $150 a pop, and they look the same on January 1 as they do September 1. And so Carl came to me again and he said, I want you to find the best people. I want you to find gymnasts and guys that are like black belt Kempo guys and people who do plyometrics and Pilates and yoga. So I went out, man, with my research, and I created what I feel is probably the most intense in-home workout that you can do. And if you look at the infomercial, I mean, here's what people would consider a very niche product. I mean, who the heck wants to have 12 DVDs with the workouts, or some of them an hour and a half long? But I tell you, man, there's a bunch of folks out there, and it's growing and growing and growing, and it becomes a challenge. For example, there's a whole bunch of people in D.C. right now, a bunch of House and Senate staffers on the Hill.
All right, Tony, can I cut you off for a second?
Bad man.
I'm telling you, this background noise is killing me, and I don't want your message to get lost. Nelson, I'm going to let you cover the 11th Annual 2007 National Big Apple Comic Book Convention. Book interviews.
Okay, that's a good move, because I was losing you too, Tony. So.
Oh, it's too bad.
Tony, it's been a pleasure, man.
Pleasure talking to you, Nelson.
Yeah, I know. Keep up the good work, man. Do your thing.
Thanks, my brother. You too.
And definitely keep these kids healthy, man, because that's our future.
That is, you got that right.
Come on.
And you can tell that there's a little bit of a difference between right now and just a few seconds ago. On the Celebrity Hotline, it's Tony Horton. He's a fitness expert, and he has so many programs that we've discussed in the first portion of the interview. And I really did not want to have the background noise in the middle of you talking about the issues that are important to you, because I do want the message to get out. We've talked about your complete training system. We've talked a little bit about programs that you do for kids, programs that you do for seniors. That's pretty interesting too, because now the generation gap is kind of no longer there if a kid could work out with his grandparents.
Well, you know, it's really fun. I think what I really get a kick out of is to see people at all levels, all ages, all genders come together and still get fit. You know, for example, I do this Sunday workout every week, and it's pretty technical stuff. You know, we're doing handstand push-ups, we're climbing 25-foot ropes. You know, we're doing these things called swing handstands. You're on parallel bars, swinging back and forth and going up into a handstand. And I'm 49. I'm pushing 50, and these are things that technically at my age I shouldn't be able to do. And the great thing about what I try to create is, you know, for example, there's a group of us out there. We're all different. One guy's, 25, and I'm 49. I'm the oldest guy out there. But we're all out there working hard and doing the best that we can and supporting each other, you know. And so when I develop any of my programs, I try to create that same vibe for anybody who buys it. Like if you buy one of my DVDs, whether it's P90X or Power Half Hour or Power 90 Master Series, you will see, in general, 3 different versions of the exercise. So it's not like a bunch of people who get down and do 25 push-ups and say, hey, look, if you can't do this, you're a punk. It's the kind of thing where I say, oh, look, do what you can. Do as many reps as you can. You go as deep as you can. Get down on your knees to do a push-up if you have to. It doesn't matter, because the most important thing is showing up and following through day after day after day. And the reason why Power 90 and P90X work is you have a start date and you have an end date. You buy some piece of equipment, right? It shows you how to do stuff. It gives you, a couple of moves, but it doesn't give you a goal. It doesn't give you a 30-day goal. It doesn't give you a 60-day goal. It doesn't give you a 90-day goal. And what I tell people is I say, hey, guess what? The first 30 days, there's a good chance that nothing's going to happen. That's normal. It's your body adapting to these activities that it's never done before. And then at day 45, and you still feel like you're struggling, guess what? That's normal too. But trust me, between day 60 and day 90, you're going to see physical change. You're going to see emotional change. You're going to see, range of motion change. You're going to see strength change, and you're going to see muscles and parts of your body. And I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you're a 62-year-old or 63-year-old grandfather, or you're a 25-year-old ex-gymnast. It doesn't matter, So I think the reason why my products are successful is because I bring a certain sense of humor to it, and I bring a piece of reality to it. And another thing too, like we can go over my 11 laws at one point if you want, but there's nuances about exercise that most programs don't approach. They just create a product and they say, here it is, and there's a little instruction booklet, and then, like I said earlier, 8 weeks later it's on the garage sale. So
Well, a lot of those machines wind up being coat racks and stuff.
exactly. Yeah, underwear and T-shirts and bras are hanging off the things. And I mean, I have an uncle. Here's a guy. He's a wealthy guy. He's bought everything. His basement is filled with his stuff, covered in dust that he doesn't use. And I just said, put some dumbbells in your hand and go walk around the block 3 times. He gets a lot more out of that than staring at equipment that he's not using. So
Let's talk a little bit about Tony Horton, yourself. If not for Nelson, if not for the internet, I probably don't recognize your name. I don't know who you are, and that's probably by design, because a lot of the typical celebrity fitness people are celebrities themselves, and you kind of always remember them kind of looking good anyway. What I like about your strategies is that not only have you trained people that we've all heard of in the past, you talked about Bruce Springsteen and Tom Petty and people like Rob Lowe, but the way you speak and the way you present yourself, this could be Joe walking up and down the street, not necessarily the Hollywood person that's got a bottomless pit of resources.
Well, I think, I don't care about the fame thing. I don't care about the celebrity thing. I don't care about the, the look at me thing. My main focus is seeing somebody who gets it.
With that house music, you can't go wrong. Give me that house music to set me free. Lost in house music is where I want to be. It's gonna set you free. Gonna set you free. It's 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 gonna set you free. Rock your body. Move your body. Rock your body. Move your body. Rock your body. Shake your body. Rock your body. Move your body. Rock your body. Move your body. Move your body. Shake your body. Move 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 your body. Shake your body. Move your body. Move your body. Move your body. Move your body.
My favorite thing is that when I meet somebody who's a little bit scared, who's a little bit tenuous, who's really not familiar with what it requires to truly get into shape and to stay that way. A lot of celebrity types, they'll get in shape for something, and they'll be in shape for a short while, then they get fat again. That's fine. But what I'm trying to do is create a lifestyle. And I was pulled from obscurity. I was just there's hundreds and hundreds of trainers in this town. I live in Los Angeles, and they're everywhere. But I think the reason why, celebrities. The first person I ever trained was Tom Petty. Somebody came to me. I was training a producer on the Fox lot. And I get up in the morning. I actually worked for the guy. I was a runner. I was running around town picking up scripts and changing light bulbs. And that's how I was making money. But I was exercising, and I was studying, and I was working out with I used to work out in the same gym as Lou Ferrigno and Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I would just sit there and watch those two guys and go, what are those guys doing? And then I hooked up with this triathlete, this guy that was number 4 in the Ironman. He used to run like 2:18 marathons. And so what I did was, and then I was dating a gal that did yoga. I thought, yoga, that's stupid. What a waste of time. And then I went in there, and I was sopping wet and completely sore for 3 days. And so I saw the benefits of resistance exercises. I saw the benefits of cardiovascular exercises. I saw the benefits of interval and cross training and Pilates and yoga. So what I was doing early on was creating a variety of exercises that helped accelerate results. Like, there's yoga instructors, but all they're teaching is yoga. There are spinning instructors, but all they're teaching is spinning. And when you repeat the same, I don't care how hard it is, after a while your body adapts. And then you end up plateauing, and you think, oh, well, geez, that's it. That's all I can get. But you buy P90X, you see Pilates, you see yoga, you see resistance, you see plyometrics, you see it all. And, there was a great study about 10 years ago at the University of Florida, I'm guessing. I'm not sure if it's University of Florida, but they took the track guys, and they put them in the pool. And they took the swimmers and they put them on the track. Mm-hmm. And both sets were floundering at each other's sport for about 3 weeks. They put the swimmers back in the pool, they put the track guys back in the track, and their times improved, and they didn't do any of their own exercises. So what does that tell you? It tells you that when you break it up and you mix it up, even at the collegiate level, the results are off the hook. So, and my big thing is boredom. I can't do the same stuff over and over and over again. I'm trying to avoid three things: boredom, plateaus, and injury. And variety will do that. It'll also accelerate your results.
So really, this is stuff that you were doing and gathering for your own fitness, and it just turned into a formula that's worked for so many others.
Exactly. I just shared what I already knew. I shared what I was doing, and that's why it's working for so many people.
It's funny. Earlier in the interview, we were talking about machines where you just pretty much sit and spin and look good anyway, according to the commercials that you see. But you've done a little bit of everything, which I like. The other thing that I like, we run the gamut. We talked about kids who are obese. We talked about older people who aren't as flexible as they used to be. Your mission is lifestyle. Your mission is healthy living. If I were to tell you that there are so many people with back issues, for instance, that are also trying to stay fit, my guess is you probably got a program for them too, because not everybody can do everything.
Well, like I was saying earlier, when I create a product, I understand. I'm trying to get to as many people as I can. I mean, that's why there's 10-Minute Trainer. That's why there's P90X. They're two completely different programs, but they bring everybody into the fray. And even with whether it's 10-minute workouts or hour-and-a-half workouts, throughout these different kinds of workouts, I will show folks different ways of doing things. For example, I don't know if you're familiar with plyometrics, but it's the kind of exercise where you're jumping up and down. You're jumping into the air, tucking your knees into your chest, and landing again. So if you've got a 60-year-old guy with P90X, do I say that this person should be jumping up and down? Forget about it. His knees, his back, his ankles, it. I mean, all his connective tissue is very vulnerable. So I will show that person, hey, look, if you can't do this, do this. Does it mean you're not good enough or you're not strong enough? No, it means you've showed up. Woody Allen said that 80% of life is showing up. I say the other 20% is paying attention once you get there. And not being afraid not to be perfect. And not being afraid that maybe your numbers, your reps, your range of motion, or your strength is less.
You say you're doing better. For your sake, I hope it's true. I wish you well, but that's all that I can do. Savior, I'm sorry. Just leave them at the door. You can't make me feel guilty anymore. You say I should stay with you. That Jesus forgives you. You pray I will, but I with you that Jesus forgives you. You pray I will, but I won't. The difference is Jesus loves you. You say I should stay with you.
When you move, they come together, and that's the, they talk about runner's high. I know a friend of mine, he's a psychologist. When people come to see him, he puts them on a 3-day-a-week cardiovascular program. He will not treat people without them moving their butt 3 times a week. And his success rate is tenfold everybody else's.
How do you motivate the average person who looks at the people who are on TV, let's say Fit TV, everybody's fit on Fit TV. Then you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, you know what, it ain't gonna happen. And you've probably run into people like that say, look down, look at their own guts and say, no, it's not gonna happen. And they just kind of give up. But part of your job is getting people to believe that they can achieve the same types of results that you've been able to manage.
Well, you know, that's the $64,000 question. What makes those people who they are, and how can I, somebody who's never been athletic or never been in shape or never had a six-pack or, you know, could never even run up and down a basketball court, and especially as people get older, you know, they become filled with more fear, more anxiety, and they're less enthusiastic, and just assume that gaining weight and being out of shape is part of the aging process. But the fact of the matter is, anybody and everybody, like one of the guys in my videos, this guy Eric Stolhansky, he's got a prosthetic leg. I mean, he's got one leg to stand on. So he doesn't have an ankle. He doesn't have he doesn't have a normal knee joint. And he was scared to death. He just thought, I don't know why I'm doing this. He was in the original P90X test group. And that guy, man, he just said the heck with it. You know, at some point you have to say enough is enough. At some point you have to say I am tired of being sick and tired. And for a lot of folks, they have to find the bottom. You know, and sometimes, obviously when you find the bottom, you got a lot more work to do. And I just tell anybody, I say, there's some simple rules. I'll tell you my 11 rules, of health and fitness. You know, and people come to my camps. Like other people, there are 2 groups of people that come to my camps. Some that are super fit, they've been doing my programs, they're really psyched. They just want some more information, inspiration, and whatever it takes to get them to the next level. But then the other half of the people that come to my camps are lost and they're scared and they're not really in great shape. But they take that risk and they have faith and they put down the money and they come anyway. And anybody who leaves my camp basically knows what I know. And at that point, they have to decide, they have to choose either to move or not to move. But they discover in the course of 3 days the difference between eating better, because you are what you eat, you are what you do, you are what you think, and you are what you say. And you have those choices anyway. Nobody can take those things from you. You're the one that creates that for yourself. And so you think to yourself, okay, you know what? I'm going to go today and I'm going to do that workout, and if it's lousy, if it's terrible, if I feel weak and puny, so what? At least I showed up. But I can tell you, man, here's what I tell people. I'm talking a lot, but what happens to a lot of folks is they get stuck on the what they want to look like thing. They look at somebody with a six-pack, and they look at these before and after pictures, and it's all about ego. It's all about what do I have to do to get to a place where I'm going to look like a certain thing somewhere into the future. And who wants to live that way? I tell folks, forget about that. Forget about the scale. Forget about the tape measure. And forget about what you'd like to look like, because you want to try to impress other people who could basically care less.
Well, and this is the season, Tony, that everybody starts making these types of resolutions. The day after Thanksgiving, I'm going to start doing this, that, and the other. Happy New Year. On the 2nd, I'm going to start working out again. This is kind of a dangerous train of thought, isn't it?
No, it really is, because it's very ephemeral in nature. It's very short term. And I tell folks, I say, they say, how many times, do you do abs every day or do you work out every day? I say, I try to work out 20 days a month. If I work 20 out of 30 days a month, then I can maintain my fitness and still improve in some areas of fitness. And I'll tell you why I exercise. And people who come to my fitness camps, or people who go onto the Power 90 or P90X message boards, or the $1 Million Body message boards, or the Beachbody.com message boards, what I tell them, I say, if you exercise today, you might not lose weight, you might not lose inches, and the way you look might not change. But here's what will happen: you will be fitter today if you exercise today.
Sick of playing all of these games. It's not about taking sides. When I looked in the mirror, didn't deliver. It hurt enough to think that I could stop, admit that I'm wrong, and then change my mind. Sorry, but I've gotta be strong and leave you behind. I can't waste time, so give it a moment. Nothing's broken. Don't need to worry about everything I've done. Live every second like it was my last one. Don't look back at a new direction. I loved you once, needed protection. You're still a part of everything I do. You're on my heart just like a tattoo. Just like a tattoo. I'll always have you.
She is the daughter of a former NFL player, and she performed just a little while ago at Super Bowl 42, New England versus New York, the Battle of the News. I have not been watching the game. I am in studio recording the latest edition of Wake Up Dancing, which is featuring an interview which aired earlier this year on Club Kids on ML's Radio. Club Kids on ML's Radio every Sunday between 12 and 1 on Chicago's 1450 AM WCEV. Harv with a bunch of club kids from the Union League Boys and Girls Clubs do the honors. And then we archive it here at wakeupdancing.com. So you've got a nice little mix of things that happen at wakeupdancing.com, including some words of music, which is interview stuff, Club Kids and ML's Radio, and of course Wake Up Dancing, which is a freestyle-based show. Things that I have been known for doing for the last, 20-some years. I'm old. Before Jordan Sparks' Tattoo, we heard Judy Torres's I Don't. We also heard Marshall Jefferson's Move Your Body and Fergie with Will I Am with Glamorous. Interesting that Jordan Sparks, daughter of an NFL player, ends up performing at the Super Bowl, and Tom Petty, Tony Horton's very first celebrity fitness client, performed at halftime. Not such a bad show. Let us go back to that Celebrity Hotline conversation, because Tony has some more very important news of the fitness stuff. The technology is awesome too, because it's like you're the head trainer and you've got all these lieutenants everywhere else where if somebody has a question on the message board, then that topic is followed by oh so many replies of what's worked for the school teacher, what worked for the firefighter, what worked for the college student, what worked for the high schooler. I mean, it is a feature that I've just not seen anywhere else.
I'm going to tell you a story right now. This is a God's honest truth story. I put this thing out in the ether. I don't know who picks up the phone. I don't know who's buying it. I can go onto the message boards and I can see where someone comes on the boards and says, hey, My name's Robert. I'm new to the program. Here's my before picture. I can't believe I'm putting my before picture on a website for a bunch of strangers to see. Now, I got a buddy. He's actually in town this weekend. And here's a total stranger. I wouldn't have met him in a million years. Way back in the day, how long? Robert's actually here. October 2005, all right? Here's the guy. He was a firefighter, and, he had his own business, and he was kind of struggling, overweight, whatever. Bought the program. Did it. Got off-the-chart results, all right? And so I had a fitness camp in Chicago 2 years ago. And, he didn't have he was up to his eyeballs in credit card debt, but he saved and he saved. And, he's just some dude that came to my camp. He came in, good guy. I go, man, you're fit. Holy cow. He goes, all P90X. It was all you. I used to be, and he showed me his before picture, and the guy was a doughboy. He was a big, old doughboy. And he got completely ripped. And so he got in those message boards a lot because, in his local town, his buddies and his friends and the people he worked with weren't doing what he was doing. So you got to find somebody some like-minded person that you can go to and get support. So he went in there and he found a bunch of people, and he's got a whole new band of friends. They're internet friends, and they're people that he talks to on the phone or email. So he comes to my camp, and in the interim, our company, Beachbody, created a sub-company called $1 Million Body. And what we were learning was, because when you have an infomercial company, all right, you got a new product, you got to buy media on TV. And when we buy media, we got to buy a half an hour. Like whatever, Coke or Pepsi or Ford or whoever, they're buying 30 seconds. But when you're buying a half-hour media, it's very expensive. And so we came up with an idea. We've got all these amazing customers getting amazing results. Why don't we pay them? So we created this subdivision of Beachbody.com called $1MillionBody.com. And it's an opportunity for guys like Robert to help us, spread the word. Because there's no better testimonial than the guy standing next to you with a six-pack who, 3 months earlier was a doughboy. And so we are, creating incentives for our customers to earn money. And we also have a contest. And if you have great results and you submit your before and after pictures, you can win $10,000. I'm sitting next to a guy, Robert, right now, who, A, was miserable, unemployed, overweight, who got ripped, came to my Chicago camp, got in the community message boards, submitted his before and after pictures, and won $10,000.
Wow.
Now he's quit his job, and he's earning $3,600 a week selling my stuff. And what he does is, talk about lieutenants, he's got dozens and dozens and dozens of other people that look at his life, look where he was, and see where he is, and say, I want to do that. And what they're doing, they're not just selling Amway, they're not selling plastic Tupperware, they're selling health and fitness. They're selling feeling good. And they're selling it by, sharing with each other my products and other products that we sell on our website. It's a phenomenal thing, and we just hope it grows and grows and grows because people get really fit, they feel really good, and they become financially independent. Oh, hello. So.
Harv Roman in Chicago talking to Tony Horton of the P90X Complete Training System and so many programs that run the gamut. I would imagine if whatever budget you're on, you probably have a program for them.
Yeah, I do. I mean, are you asking me that I have a bunch of variety in programs?
Yeah, because, we talked a little while ago about, what it's going to cost you to join a health club, and then after the first few days, you don't have the time to go anymore, or there are the machines that you see on TV, and then again, you're out a few $100, and, there are people with budgets and people not so much with budgets.
Wake up. Wake up dancing. Wake up dancing. Wake up dancing. Harv Roman's gonna make you dance. Wake up dancing. Wake up dancing. Wake up dancing. Wake up, Harv Roman's gonna make you dance.
And I'm curious about the how things vary in terms of your programs and for people with or without the resources to get, an excellent program.
Well, you can go to the website, and, like I always tell folks, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do something. It really doesn't. And most of my programs, you can go out and buy one of my DVDs. I don't know, they're like $19.95 or $29.95. P90X is about $120. But think about it. You go see a private trainer, your $120 is gone. I mean, some private trainers, that's one session.
Right.
spend $120, you're going to get 90 days of sessions. I mean, if you can't, if you can't do 120, if that's tight for you, get one of the 2 or 3 of the other programs at $19 or $29, and just do that. I always tell folks, they always say, well, is kayaking good? What if I play hoop? Or what about intervals? And I said, you know what works? The thing that you liked to do. If you don't like to spin, don't spin. If you think yoga is really hard and you don't like it, don't go. If you think Pilates is stupid, well then, do something else.
This is so refreshing to hear you talk on the level of most of the people that are actually trying to get in shape, and not necessarily those who are already in shape. I mean, it's neat to know that if there's something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do it.
Do it.
Before we go, I think you only covered one of your 11 points.
I'll go over them really quickly right now. You want me to go over them?
Yeah, because I don't want the message to get lost because of time.
People want results. I mean, the reason why I created these 11 laws of health and fitness is because they want results. They don't want to plateau. They don't want to get hurt, and they don't want to get bored. And they want to continue to do it week after week, month after month, year after year. It's like breathing. It's like eating. It's like sleeping. That's how it has to be. And if you do that, and I forgot to mention this before, I talked about health, fitness, quality of life, and feeling good. But the key, especially when you get past about 35 years old, you want to avoid 2 things: injuries and illness. Because, there's nothing worse than, bending over and picking up your cat and blowing out your back. Or there's nothing worse than, constantly getting colds and flus and having your immune system go to hell in a handbasket. And when you exercise and eat right, because your food is fuel. Really, if you're putting in, liters of Coke and Pepsi and you're eating, double-doubles and you're filling your body with saturated fats and sugar and too much salt, you're a time bomb. It's basically slow-motion suicide. So I tell folks, find ways to make healthy foods taste good. Even if you got to put cheese on your broccoli, something. But anyway, let me go over my 11 laws. Number 1 is variety. Variety is the spice of fitness. Like I talked about that earlier. The different things that you do, the less likely you are to get hurt, and the more likely that you're not going to get bored and plateau. Number 2, consistency. The only way you get good at anything is you got to do it often. And guess what? If you're bad at the beginning, that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be lousy for 30 days. Just get over it. Do it. All right? Number 3, intensity. Doesn't mean you have to, doesn't mean you have to kill yourself, but you got to push. You got to push the envelope just a little. Most folks are a lot tougher than they think they are. They really are. The human body is an amazing thing. And all my programs have good form, good breathing, good range of motion. And you just do what you can. But if that's why a lot of folks will go to gyms, month after month after month, and look the same. It's because they're doing the same things with not enough intensity. This one's really important. Number 4, purpose. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing it? Why are you exercising? If you're exercising to fit in some red dress at a wedding 2 months from now so you can look good in front of a bunch of people who could care less, okay. What happens the next day when the wedding's over?
Right.
What's your new reason? My reasons are I like to ski, I like to be strong, I like to be flexible, I don't want to get hurt, and I like a strong immune system, and I like feeling good every day. That's why I do it. And I think, when people make that turn, they care less about what they think other people are supposed to think of them. It's just silly. Number 2, reality. What can you do? If you can't physically do something, or you're maybe an ectomorph, which is a really thin person, or a mesomorph, who's a muscular person, or an endomorph, who's naturally big, then you have to understand who you are and what your physical limitations are. Because that's what you're trying to do, is avoid being discouraged. You want to wake up in the morning and go, I know who I am, I know what my reality is, I can't go to a spinning class, but I like basic yoga, so I'm going to do that. So once you understand your own personal reality, it doesn't become like this competition or this struggle. Number 6, sport. Any sport, dancing, hockey, basketball, field hockey, underwater basket weaving, I don't know what the heck it is, but every time you find sport, you meet a whole bunch of people you wouldn't meet. I mean, sport, balance, coordination, stamina, agility, endurance, there's skill, there's competition, there's community and friendship. There's family, you get the family doing some sport. There's unity in the family. And all of that accelerates your health and fitness tenfold. So, even if you could take how many years have you been thinking about taking a dance class? Go sign up and take it. Number 7, the plan. You can't wing it. You got to know what you're doing, what time you're doing it, and what day you're doing it. And you schedule out the whole month. January 1, you write down the time like an appointment with a dentist, like an appointment at work. You got to figure out what you're doing, what day you're doing it, and then you just go and do it. Oh, I'll wait till after dinner. Oh, I'll wait till 3-4 days go by because you're just saying, okay, I got to fit one in somewhere. You're a dead man. It's not going to work. Number 8, stress and sleep. If you're a warrior and your glass is half empty and you're sleeping 4 hours a night, you're screwed. You're screwed. You got to get 8 hours. If you're working out, you got to get 8 hours. Stop watching TV that doesn't change your life, and go to bed and get some sleep. And you can't be stressed out. Stressed out people are vulnerable to injury, and it wears them out. Stress wears you out. Now I'm not going to get into the psychology of it all, but take a couple of deep breaths and get some sleep, and that way your body can recover and heal. So you can get up and do it again.
Well, people who are stressed would be amazed at just what a nice exercise regimen does for you.
Exactly. I mean, exercise alleviates stress. Exercise helps you sleep better. They're synonymous with one another. If you do one, the other one improves. And people have stressful lives. I mean, people are just overwhelmed, and they're at the rope's end. But I can't tell you how many test groups I've done with people who say, you know what, man, I didn't realize that exercise was going to help me deal with my life better. I didn't know that was going to be an outcome. I mean, I just wanted not to have a fat belly anymore.
Right.
I'm like this guy with a sleep apnea machine. He used to have to travel with that thing. He doesn't need it anymore. Now he can sleep normally. Now he has 10 times more energy and enthusiasm to live his life. Number 9, loving it. If you don't like it, don't do it. If you buy P90X and you think it's stupid and I talk too much and tell bad jokes, send it back and go buy Turbo Jam or go for long walks. But do the thing that you feel like showing up for, period. I'm sick and tired of hearing people say, what do you think about this machine? I don't know. Do you like it? I don't know. I just care about results. Well, so what? That you're going to care about that for 5 minutes. And then you're going to go, this thing is stupid. Well, then you shouldn't have bought it in the first place, or sell it at the garage sale and go find something else you like. Loving it's everything. I only do exercises that turn me on. I don't want to kick ball change and spin around and dance. I could care less. It's not my thing. And flexibility. It's the fountain of youth. You got to stretch before, you got to stretch after, and you got to do yoga. I mean, that's me. I mean, some folks don't like yoga, but I swear to God, at 49, if I didn't do yoga and stretch, my elbows would snap, my knees would ache, my ankles would hurt, my back would be screwed up. But I tell you, if flexibility is truly the fountain of youth. Number 11, and the last one, food and supplements. You are what you eat. You are what you put in your mouth. And nobody else puts things in your mouth other than you. Nobody force feeds you. You make those choices. If you put junk in, you're going to feel like crap. You put good food in, you're going to feel good. It's that simple. And I'm not telling everybody that they should start going eating raw food, like raw, vegan, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I've created 4 separate food plans. If you're eating crap all the time, here's what I say you can do. If you just can't make, I don't expect people to go from, fast food eater to vegetarian, but I say, guess what? 50% of your meals can still be garbage. Go for it. Eat at McDonald's, eat at Burger King, whatever. But the other half, you got to eat healthy. So make it 50-50, and then turn 50 to 60, and then 60 to 70. And over the course of time, that's what I did. I was a Dr. Pepper double cheeseburger guy every day at lunch.
If I told you I love you, will you know the meaning of the word? If I say I need you, will you keep born to be my baby. Please let me be the one.
I went to McDonald's and had Egg McMuffins every morning, and at night I ate a huge pizza. I was miserable. But I didn't cut them all out altogether. I cut them out over the course of about 18 months. And
I mean, we could talk forever and ever about this because, you know, they're all important issues in terms of fitness and healthy lifestyles. Go to beachbody.com or milliondolarbody.com. Learn all about the P90X and all of the other programs. Tony, boy, the next time we do this, we've got to get some people in studio, get you live, and have you attack some of the real life issues like you've done on your TV programs.
yeah, I'm just in it to help people feel better. Honestly, you know, when I see the light go on over people's heads, and you know, I deliver a real message. It's an authentic message. It's not smoke and mirrors and some gimmicks that I'm trying to sell to make a few bucks. I mean, and it's not easy, but that's what life's about. You don't get good at anything unless you work at it and have a little faith, and that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm really looking forward to our next conversation, and I hope we've sparked a few folks here in this one.
Well, I do appreciate it. Like I say, our angle for the most part is the young people and the families that they're in, and I think that'll be the neat thing the next time if we can is get it live, get some teenagers in studio, get some kids that maybe are already facing some of those issues that we talked about, and maybe even a couple of parents, and let's see if we can get them to buy into what you're doing because it is so real.
What I'd love to do is, you get maybe a couple of kids, a couple of teenagers, and a couple of parents, and we do a 90-day challenge. We give the kids, Tony and the kids, we give the middle kids Power 90 and give some other folks P90X and say, go. And at the end, if you lose X amount of pounds or you have a certain amount of success, here's your carrot at the end of the rainbow, or here's your prize or something. I think it'd be fun. It'd be great.
I do look forward to that conversation, and I really had a blast during this conversation. It's something that if Nelson hadn't told me about this particular interview, I probably would have just been one of those, your surfing channels, and you see it, you watch it for a little while, and then that's kind of it. It's nice to be able to speak with the person who invented a lot of this stuff to know what it's like. And like I say, ultimately, Tom, you're one of us.
I am, man. I'm a kid that was, had the sand kicked in his face, got beat up at the bus stop. I was a 98-pound weakling. I ate junk. I fell asleep in math class, But I discovered fitness, changed my life.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Tony Horton, the fitness expert. Thanks again.
Thanks, Harv.
Set me free, why don't you, babe? Get out my life, why don't you, babe? 'Cause you don't really love me, you just keep me hanging on. Set me free, why don't you, babe? Get out my life.
AM 1450 WCEV Radio from Chicago. He's Georgie Porgy. He's a club kid buddy. That is something new from Georgie. He entitles that Lift Your Voices. And I believe if we went to the celebrity hotline, we'd end up lifting up somebody else's voices. Nelson Cruz, are you there?
Yeah, here I am.
We're lifting your voice and we're lifting Georgie Porgy's voice.
Hey,
How are you now?
gotta work.
First phone call of the new year here on Club Kids on MLO's radio. Yay for us. You got to be in Times Square. Not only did you get to be in Times Square and watch that big Apple drop, but you're also in Times Square on Thanksgiving, and it was interesting because one of the things that happened in 2007 was the fact that we had Tony Horton, not only celebrity fitness guy, but also a fitness guy that has programs from youth all the way up to seniors. And as part of an interview we did with him during Thanksgiving weekend, you were part of that mix as well. And I guess you've got news for us.
Yeah. We did some giveaways at Thanksgiving, and of course we came back down to New York and we did it again in New Year's.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. We gave away some G Flexes. And some lucky kids got very lucky that evening.
You know, it was kind of interesting when you were following up on the Tony Horton thing. You talked about when we hit upon things that families can do together. Apparently, Tony Horton's people jumped all over that.
Yeah. It seems like they're very interested in the fact that that someone finally put together a program where there could be some kind of unity between child and adult. These days, it seems to be vice versa. It's like, when we were growing up, a horror creature was a horror creature. It wasn't no superhero. It wasn't something that would defend you from your own parents. It was something that was out to get you. These days, they kind of like flip the script on these poor kids, and they're getting all this miscommunication about these situations that should not be considered to be something that's good.
Well, and then to add all that, Tony Horton finally hits on something in which when we spoke over Thanksgiving weekend, we talked about the obesity issues and what these kids were doing to themselves, or in some cases what the parents were being allowed to feed their kids that were getting all big and strong, and not in a good way. And Tony Horton's people came up with a plan to combine youth fitness with adult fitness, which is pretty neat. Now it's family fitness program. And as part of that, you were able to give away, I think you gave away 5 of these G-Flex chairs from Pyromat?
Yeah. We gave them away. That was a whole different situation in Times Square during New Year's Eve. Yeah, the lucky winners were Jessica Guzman, right there from Chicago. She listens to your show all the time. She's 11 years old. Daniel Ayala from Florida, who was there with his family, 10. Samantha Ginger Smith, who says he's the distant cousin of Will Smith. He was 7 from Atlanta. Carlos Rivera from New York City. And then we have, Carlos was 9. And then we have Liz Goldberg. Now, Liz was kind of like the craziest one of them all. She was 7 years old, adorable, had attention from everybody. And then she said that she was from California in the winter, doing school, and then she lives in Israel in the summer with her dad. It was kind of an international situation for me to be giving away these G-Flexes at Times Square.
Now,
on New Year's Eve?
How did you go about giving these away? It's interesting when you think about it because, it's a program that's broadcast here at 1450 AM Chicago, but one of the new things in 2007 was web streaming over at www.wcev1450.com, and apparently the Chicago winner was a listener here in the city who happened to be in New York over the course of the holidays. But then Tony Horton's people are listening to the webcast and they're listening back to the interview, and they're giving you more stuff to give away just because of the impact that they believe they're about to have on youth.
Yeah, it's working, man. Whatever you're doing, whatever's being done, it's working. And if it's working, you don't need to fix it. You just got to improve it.
So you've got 5 winners. They get a G-Flex chair from Pyromat, and they were hanging out over the course of Thanksgiving and then again on the New Year's in Times Square. So that must have been something interesting for you, because I don't know what you expected when we announced we had to do this giveaway.
Oh, man,
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable. I was located on 45th Street and Broadway, Times Square, right there, and it was unbelievable. The energy, the people were so cool. The NYPD was perfect. Everything was beautiful, 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 beautiful.
Now, interesting now that you're doing some spots for us every now and then on the scene and at the spot. What do you foresee happening in the year 2008? Because you were involved in a few of our interviews during this past year.
Oh yeah. We got more giveaways coming up. I'll be at different locations throughout the United States. I might even go into Germany for something that they're talking to me about right now. And of course, on the scene and on the spot at WCEV Radio with Harv Roman. That's where you'll find me.
Yep, and we finally, on one of your other connects through that particular program, David Corey, has finally named the 5 finalists for the new Menudo, and now they're traveling around, and this was another project that was heard about first here at 1450 AM.
Yeah, we got very lucky with Mr. Corey granting us an interview, and he went very exclusive with a lot of information on the show. Of course, he didn't give us the names of the winners.
No, he wanted us to tune in on that Tuesday. He's smart.
We caught some good insight from him.
This Chicago listener who said that she wanted to get involved in Club Kids and MO's radio, what was her name again?
Yeah, Jessica Guzman.
We got to find her.
Yeah, she said that her mother and her were telling me how they heard when you went or the kids went to a museum, and she started really thinking that it would be best for her and her daughter to get involved with the radio station. And it was a nice thing to see somebody who acknowledged the fact that it's just more than an advertising or more than just we're going to play a hit record because everybody else is playing it. It was somebody who communicated with me on a personal level about their child. It was very special. And then to be at Times Square doing the giveaway and having that happen, it was really beautiful.
Well, if Jessica or anyone else is interested in getting involved in the radio program, there is a MySpace dedicated to Club Kids on MO's Radio, so just go myspace.com/Club Kids on MO's Radio, or call the Boys and Girls Club. We're there during the week, 773-772-2187, 773-772-2187, because it would be neat if there's people like Jessica who actually listen to the show but maybe are not part of the Boys and Girls Club. They could be a part of this too, because kids talk about stuff and stuff. They got a lot of opinions on things.
Oh yeah, definitely. And WCEV Radio and your show, man, the Harv Roman show there, definitely an equal opportunity situation for these kids, And again, anything that could get these kids away from these video games these days. I mean, I don't knock them. I like them myself, but enough is enough, and too much is too much.
Well, you got to go back to those days of Sega Genesis costing you maybe $50, and now PS3 costing about $500.
Yeah, right. Remember that? Dear Lord, whatever happened to the simple stuff like the Rubik's Cube? It's like $1 something.
Well, Kanye and Beyonce were playing Connect 4 the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was all over the newspapers. I guess Kanye West is a big table game fan, and Beyonce and him got into a big Connect 4 contest, and there was a picture in the Sun-Times where Kanye actually beat Beyonce. Of course, she beat him a bunch of times before the picture was taken.
Oh, of course.
Well, Nell, thanks for the
PR
call.
for you, baby.
We're going to play another half hour or so of highlights of Club Kids on MO's Radio for the year 2007, which you were a part of, and I do appreciate it.
No problem.
In the back of your head right now is Mary J. Blige, who had come out with a CD album this past year, and part of that also went to the Boys and Girls Club of America. So it's a good thing all around that people are focusing on the youth.
Oh yeah, we gotta stick with them because they are gonna have to stick with us.
Yep. All right, now thanks.
Okay, no
Take care.
problem. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you
everyone.
too.
My dream will be the truth instead of the sadness I know. Baby, don't go. Please don't separate two hearts that belong together. Don't you know the love I feel for you is gonna last forever? Baby, don't go.
1450 WCEV Radio. That is Cynthia Music. If I had the chance, I would have called into the kids show today, because next week we'll have a full studio with Marisa Lopez and her director buddy, pal, homie. But Cynthia will be on the Celebrity Hotline next Saturday, and it'll be a pretty neat thing, and we'll talk to her about her appearance over at Studio 63, and if you wanted to be there, 773-777-1450 would be it, and that's the same number that our Celebrity Hotline conversational is called. Nelson, are you there?
Yeah, baby, here I am. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. We're not worried so much about the Super Bowl here.
Oh, that's sad. We're ecstatic here in New York. We're ecstatic. Go Giants.
I mean, the game that you heard the kids talking about, I guess that was their version of the Super Bowl. It was the Barreto Club against the Talcott Club. It was a friendly football game which turned into not so friendliness.
Oh, it sounded like the last time the Patriots and the Giants met up. Just like it. I was like, hey, sounds just like the previous game.
Well, in just a little bit, Club Kid Jasmine and Club Kid Anthony will try to give a Latino twist to the Super Bowl as we try to figure out how the heck would you say Super Bowl in Spanish?
Super Bowl.
I don't know. It's like saying...
You got to put in that Antonio Banderas type of voice and go Super Bowl.
I agree with you because Grandpa, when he says Fruit Loops, he says Fruit Loops. When he says cornflakes, he says cornflake. When he says hot dog, he says hot dog. It's all the same.
Oh, Super Bowl, baby.
Nelson Fast Forward Cruise. Spent some time at the Rockefeller Center not that long ago. What's interesting thing is not only are we at 1450 AM, but now with the webcasting, it's giving us a whole nother animal to deal with when it comes to people who are listening and people who are responding to what we're doing. We're at WCEV1450.com. We're archived at wakeupdancing.com with segments over at myspace.com/clubkids on MO's radio. And as a result of all this, anytime we talk about something or promote something, we wind up with winners not only from here in the city like Evelyn DeJesus, but we get winners from everywhere else. And the last time we talked with you, Tony Horton, we had a whole lot of stuff to give away.
Yeah, it was really cool. Tony did his thing for us, and I got to thank the people at Homeland Housewares, and I got to thank Ryan over at 15 Minutes PR. They gave me 8 magic bullets, and for those who know what the magic bullet is, it's like this whole set of like blenders and all kind of stuff that's good to make all these like all these things that you like to drink. Doesn't have to be only alcohol. So kids, you could make your slushies and all your stuff, and the adults could do their little party things with it too.
Well, here's a true story. The mother of the son of a radio DJ had requested a magic bullet for Christmas.
Ah, great.
I went looking for a magic bullet. I could only find a magic rocket. So what does she do? She magically asks me for the receipt. She magically returns the rocket and magically comes back with a bullet.
That's it, man. It's a beautiful thing to have. And again, thanks to Houseland Housewares, it was something that we had the opportunity of giving away. We gave away 4 at the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree lighting ceremony. And those 4 winners were Lucy Ortiz from Boston, Massachusetts, Victor Friedman from Columbus, Ohio, Deidre Khan. Now, Deidre was cool because she was visiting from California, but she's originally from India, where she also lives when she's not going to school out at UCLA. And then we had a boogie down Bronx boy win it, Felix, who was ecstatic because he wanted to get his New Year's Eve party going with the magic bullet, as he said. And then comes New Year's Eve, we gave away 4 more, and we had the luck of giving it away to 4 other people. We had Prince, who happens to be a professional chef on a cruise ship, and he said he was going to be using it. And he lives in 4 different places. He lives in France, the UK, South Africa, and Japan. Depending on where the ship is docked, that's where he lives, he says. Evelyn DeJesus from Chicago and Mexico, and she's a professional bartender, so she's going to have a lot of fun with it. Michael Henderson, he's from Michigan City, Indiana. He was there visiting, and, Evelyn DeJesus and Michael Henderson have listened to WCEV and knew exactly who Harv Roman was. So, you know, you got some fans there. And then we had Mr. Jacob Steinberg. He was from New Jersey and originally lives also in Israel. So,
But I think Michael Henderson, I think wide receiver.
yeah, there you go.
That was the song that came out probably in the late 70s. It was kind of a disco tune.
Yeah. Yeah, remember that? Well, not the one in Spain. But again, I want to thank Homeland Houseware. I get that a little screwed up sometimes. Sorry about that, guys. And Ryan over at 15 Minutes. They did an excellent job getting me these pieces. And, you know, the people had a lot of fun with the contest, and we got it. And it was nice to, once again, come across people that were familiarized with the radio show.
www.wakeupdancing.com. New England has taken the lead. It is now 14-10. Only if you're listening right now live at www.wakeupdancing.com. In the back of your mind as we speak is Joya. Your love is lifting me higher and higher. Of course, the same Joya Bruno who was and has been and probably will continue to be with Legacy. We also heard Fast Forward music, Baby Don't Go, Raquel's music, Keep Me Hanging On, Artie and Legit, Nelson's older or past partner, Secret Desire, Lucas Prada, I Think I'm Falling in Love, Jordan Sparks with Tattoo, Judy Torres, I Don't, Marshall Jefferson with Move Your Body, and Fergie with Well I Am with Glamorous. My thanks to Tony Horton for the Celebrity Hotline Conversation, to Nelson Fast Forward Cruise for being at the scene and on the spot. That last track was kind of, we were having issues with our volume on the board, so let me restate some of the winners that walked away with a magic bullet. Go to www.buythebullet.com and you will see what Lucy Ortiz, Victor Freeman, Deidre Kahn, and Felix Rivera have. Then they got that hooked up with them at the Christmas tree lighting ceremony at Rockefeller Center. And then for the New Year's Eve ball dropping ceremony at Times Square, there were 4 giveaways. Prince, Evelyn De Jesus, Michael Henderson, and Jacob Steinberg. And coming up soon, Farrell's GPS Phone 600E, Drive GPS 250, and Drive GPS 150. Go to www.fpharosgps.com. Our thanks, of course, to Homeland Houseware, Nelson Fast Forward Cruise, and everybody else who has been listening to WakeUpDancing.com. We have been stammering and stuttering a little bit because the Super Bowl's almost over. Well, by the time you hear this, it probably will be over. Let's listen to some more Joya before we get out of here. This has been another exciting edition of Wake Up Dancing, courtesy of Club Kids on MO's radio this time around. And we'll talk to you soon. Joya, continue to sing.